Hello everyone, it's Carrie, and recently I was asked if you could heat emboss on foil paper, and today I'm going to tell you that yes you can, but there are a few tricks. So I'm going to use this beautiful floral spray right here from the Hedgehog Hollow May 2019 kit, and I'm going to show you 3 tips and 3 cards for heat embossing on foil. Now I have some foil already pre-cut here, and that's the first of my tips. Actually, I probably have way more than 3 tips to share with you on heat embossing on foil. But the first is to pre-cut your panels. Now, foil can be easily indented, and so you definitely want to run it through your die cutting machine the least times as possible. So you saw that I pre-treated it with a embossing buddy bag, and now I'm taking some Versamark sticky ink, and this is an embossing ink, and I'm going to go ahead and do that to both of these panels that I have already cut. So I have a silver foil paper and a more hot pink color, raspberry color foil paper, and I will link all these products on my blog so that you can know what I'm using here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this embossing powder. It is a black embossing powder with glitter in it. So it's one of my favorite embossing powders, of course. It's got some glitter and it's black. It's really beautiful. This is by Ranger. So I'll go ahead and put that on there, and you can see that I had a little extra stray embossing powder, so I'm just going to take a small paintbrush and get some of that extra off. Now here's another tip. When you are heat setting, allow your heat gun to preheat for at least 30 seconds. Foil paper is notorious for curling up on you when you apply too much heat. And you can see here that I did have it curl up a little. The second one did a little better because you can see I heat it for a minute, then I take the heat gun away and I heat it for a little bit more, and I try not to hold that heat gun in one place for too long. That one did not curl as much as the silver one. And now I'm going to go ahead and put some heavy acrylic blocks over the top. In fact, I'm just going to pile those up and I'll let those sit for a minute. Now, you may have heard that some people would have you run it through your die cut machine to straighten out any paper, but avoid that. Don't be tempted to do that with your foil paper. Another trick is to use some fun foam to straighten out that foil paper. And sometimes when you die cut your fun foam with your die cut, it will make the fun foam kind of a little larger than the actual die cut. So I usually cut off a little off all of the sides so that you don't see that peeking out the edges. And look, see, that straightened it up quite a bit more. And now I'll take that same score tape and I'll attach it to a pre-cut panel here that I have of cardstock. I decided that the white was just disappearing on the white, and so I'm going to go ahead and use that gray. And this is some of the chipboard from the May kit as well, and I heat embossed it with silver to make it look more like a silver metal embellishment. And I'll go ahead and add that to the front there of this one. Now let's see how our other panels are doing. They have straightened out just a little. I'm going to go ahead and add these also to some foam, fun foam, and we'll attach those to their cardstock as well, and that will also help them to flatten out quite a bit. Another tip that I want to share is to avoid touching the foil paper as much as possible. Foil paper does like to smudge and show fingerprints every so often, so as you can see, I'm trying not to touch this. I usually touch the edges as much as I can. Now this one I decided needed some black on the background with a white embossed love, and this one, the Mr. and Mrs., I embossed it in silver, but I thought that it was just disappearing too much on that card. That one is a gold embossed. I didn't like it either. I wanted a little more contrast, so I went ahead and used some pink. Kind of goes with our wedding theme here. So now I'll go ahead and start gluing all these cards together and just assembling them. I'm using a little extra of this Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to keep those completely together. The foil paper is a little heavier, and so I do like to use a little extra glue on these panels. And that piece there was the piece that I ended up with after I cut the scallop panel from the first blush card there at the top. And so I thought I would just go ahead and use that as a frame for this card, which I thought added a little bit of fun. So you can see that these are very simple cards to put together. I'm not sure if you can see the black glitter embossing powder on the foil, but it just is really fun. Adds a little touch of formality to these cards, and I thought I would use these for weddings. My son recently got married just last year, and his colors were that blush pink. Also, they had copper, but I like the silver for this one. Anyway, you can mix and match the colors. To finish off these cards, I thought some gemstones would be fun, and these are some from Studio Katya. I love these gems, and I'm using here some clear, and then I have this other mix that has some pink and some black in it and some white. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of distribute those across the cards, and I think that it adds just the right touch. So here's a look at what they're going to look like when I finish these up. I'm just going to attach those gems using some of that Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. And my last tip is to avoid getting extra adhesive on the foil paper because it's a bear to get off and make it look pretty again. That'll finish these cards off. Super simple, very beautiful, a touch of foil, a touch of glitter, and some embossing powder on those sentiments. I hope I inspired you today to try some heat embossing on foil paper and make some beautiful cards. They don't have to be wedding cards, they can be anything you want. Here's a look at some of those cards that we made. I do have a few videos here on the screen that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.